Years ago, I was at a Sam's Club parking lot, alone, and I broke down. It was horrible. I didn't even want to sit on the tailgate. I sat on the ground, and everything in the restaurant life and my personal life was crashing in on itself, and I genuinely thought, should I just quit? Should I call it a day? Hang it up, have this be the last one, and just push my chips in and walk away. I've gotten to that point. You might be at that point. And that was when I was at my third restaurant. Now we're at 12. I'm gonna tell you something, and it's not gonna be nice. If you wanna quit, it's gonna be there, and it's not going away. But if you don't wanna quit, there's a way to win. There always is. On the nights when you are closer to walking away than you are to staying, where it feels like the right thing to do, to just say, this is done. I want you to know you're not the first to feel that way. Also, you can lose, you can fail, but the way you're gonna get out of it is mostly up here, but also tactical. I'm gonna talk about both of them and what you need to get out of the funk when you're in a bad spot. Now, I've been in the game for over 20 years. I have very rarely gotten to the point where I said, screw this, I'm done. I'm gonna tell you what got me out of it. I'm gonna tell you both tactically what to do, and then mentally, which carries way more weight than tactically, how to get your mind funk out of it. Now, with that said, if you clicked on this because you saw a whole video that said how to quit the restaurant, how to close it up, how to exit, I want you to watch this whole video before you make any decisions, because there is a massive difference between retreating, pivoting, and going back than quitting. And I'm gonna tell you how you know the difference between both of them and then what to do next. I'm sitting there on genuinely the worst day of my life, and certainly the worst day of my restaurant life, knowing I have to go in there, buy a bunch of product, go back to the restaurant to train a new store that is not ready to open with people who are having their whole personal lives turned upside down. Finances are all screwed up. The whole flow was backwards, and the only way to save it was to give everything to do it, and I didn't know if I had it in me. Now, the feeling that I felt at that moment was very emotional. If you're feeling that because of the pressure of maybe friends, family, investors, and certainly finances, I want you to know that is a tactical problem with an emotional weight. And the way to get out of it is through systematic efficiency. Because most of the time for restaurant owners, the food's not the problem. Food's fine. You got customers to come into your place when you opened that did dig you, something went sideways. And the reason that you're considering quitting is because you built the food pillar, put your whole heart and soul into the food pillar to reinforce it, thinking it would reinforce the other pillars, and it just didn't. And you're like, how are we not rich? I have impeccable food, but you didn't really streamline your finances. I have incredible food. Why are people not talking about it? Well, you didn't really consistently flow the marketing. Or I have incredible food. Why is the staff not locked and cocked? Because they don't believe in the reason like you do, because it's not clear. The expectations of the job aren't clear. And you're like, that's common sense. They shouldn't be dummies. You and me are the dummies when we assume that. Now, accepting that you've been a dummy is the fastest way to get out of dummyhood. And if you are working 80 hours a week, if you've barely seen your family or your kids, first in, last out, taking a little ego hit of pride that you work so hard, but everything's compounding because it ain't working like it's supposed to. Again, you're not the first to feel this way. I will say that your situation is unique, but you in this situation overall, very cliche. So when I backed it up and said, hold on, I'm not gonna just accept that the training is good. We're gonna deep dive on it. Hold on, I'm not just gonna do obligatory marketing and then figure, well, I checked that box, and hold on, we're not just gonna accept a standard of being lackluster as owners, as managers, as staff, as a company, and say, well, we get to do whatever we want because it's our company. When I said no to those standards, and when we move forward consistently and efficiently as a company, it 180'd itself really quick. That's when I decided I absolutely needed systems. So the ones that were working, we doubled down on. The ones that didn't exist, we created. And a system is only as valuable as it's getting used. So if it's not being used or utilized effectively, it's worthless. And accepting that it's worthless is your first big win. This system that no one's using has no worth. So we either re-engage it or toss it. And before you feel like saying, I'm a failure, I want you to really pause on that. Because it ain't failure till you take your ball and go home for good. Because it's only failure when you fully quit. Walking away from a fixable problem because you don't have the heart to do any more of it, that's quitting. That's failure. I'm going to make this easy as hell for you to understand how to get yourself out of your funk. If you are completely down on your luck and you think to yourself, this voice of Mickey in Rocky 4, referencing Rocky 3.
Get up, you son of a bitch. Because Mickey loves you.
And you don't want to do something about it, I can't help you. But understand that there are the Mickeys of the world, in your world, that do love you, that want you to get up, because you're entitled to have your shitty moment. What you're not allowed to do in this game is to continue that shitty mindset. But if you know that you just got to get your Rocky mindset on, hear that song run, and get your shit going, you're going to be fine. Now it's just a matter of tactics and systemization. And when you feel down in the dumps, that's not the time to make a decision. That's the time to go breathe, take a walk, splash water on your face, not drink yourself stupid, and to assess the situation. So the most likely culprit is finances. If finances are bringing it all down, then we need to assess that which is making money and that which is not, and then cull it out. Get food costs tight, labor in check, operational expenses, and go down the line of every single vendor with a plan of who are we cutting, who are we keeping, and make that our first move. That's going to stop the bleeding. Now, from a tactical perspective, we also need to see what food items are working and how do we throw more effort and attention at them and see what's not. If you have a massive menu, I'm going to tell you the fastest thing to do right now is to cut anything that's not making money.
Oh, but we have this one customer who loves it.
Screw them. You're about to close. Get rid of it. It is going to kill you. Fix the winners, kill the losers. Now, if we have a staff that ain't engaged in this whole thing, that's our fault. So I have a whole video on how to keep staff turnover low. Here's what I need you to know. You're going to need to pull everyone together once you got your mind right and have a cut the shit talk and say, hey, here's what we did wrong in the past. Here's where we're going in the future. From now on, we're all in, and let them air everything they hate about the restaurant and also everything they like. And now we can focus on which is good, get rid of that which is bad, and then say, okay, from here on out, we got a clean slate. And on top of that, if you don't love this job, I'll pay you $100, $200, $500 right now to walk out that door and cut the fat and let everyone know who's there. Game on. That's how we fix our staff problem. Now we got to get a tighter approach to all of it to have it on a flywheel. So that means we're really going to have to lean in to getting more revenue. If we're hurting our cash, the biggest lever we need to lean into is marketing and getting more customers in as fast as possible so we can then plant the seeds that we haven't been planting in the past. That's the lever right now, along with a deep, real, in-depth conversation with our vendor about where we're at and what we need from them to hit prime costs so we know that they're on our team. Because if we fix our marketing, our ops, and our finances, then our food can carry the rest of the way. And now we got a plan. Now, this doesn't all happen in a day because you do have that eye of the tiger mindset callback that you can get it there. Now, with all that said, here are the signals when it is time to retreat, to say, this ain't gonna work. I need to be a business person and step back and assess this appropriately. This is all about numbers and honesty. If you're a full service restaurant, you should be under 60% on your prime cost of goods sold and labor. If you are significantly above that, and there's no way on God's green earth that you could bring that mofo down. And I mean, like, not you're at 63%. I mean, you're at like 80 and you already are maxed on staff. And you're already maxed on getting your discounts on food, and it's just not figuring itself out. And no amount of electric shock is going to pull it off. Call it a day. Now, if you have a horrible lease and the rent is underwater because the location was bad from day one and it's a super onerous lease, then no amount of great food is going to fix this problem. And therefore, it's probably time to call it a day. Signal number 3, if your market has completely left and you did not move with that market, that might be the sign as well. Now, if the neighborhood has changed, or the concept is just super dead, and you have not pivoted the brand or pivoted the menu because you're trying to sell something the world is not asking for, like vegan French fusion frozen custard, and there ain't no demand for that, and you can't get people to have demand for it, then it might be time to change it to an ice cream store or move on. The last signal is if your health is rapidly declining as a result of this restaurant. And I don't mean you're just having a bad skin day. I'm saying your health is going down quickly as a result of this restaurant, whether the mental load, the physical load, or all of it combined. Being willing to give your life up to the restaurant, to the brand, to the thing that you live to do makes it that much more likely to survive. But on the inverse, if it's the reason that your health is declining and you got to do something else to be healthy, pivot your life to something that matches your lifestyle better. And if it is purely just the concept is the problem, here's a video on the 3 most profitable styles of concepts. It might help you out, might be something worth checking out. Because again, a retreat is not quitting, and retreating might be the smartest move. But I say that knowing that you got to have a burn the boats mentality. That means you are taking that hill, and the boats that got you to the island, you're burning them with no backup plan. Say, hey, I will take that hill or die trying. I don't want you to die, but I want you to have the mindset, because it makes it easier when you look at it that way. Say, we're fixing the staff, we're fixing the marketing, we're fixing the finances. I'm leading it. I'm going to time block my time. Everyone, we're figuring this out. Get the hell on board. Let's go. Because when you lead, people like it. They feel safe. People want a strong leader. So if you've been holding back or being like,
I don't know, or I just don't feel right about it,
get rid of that voice and run towards your goal, because it's your goal. It's your life. It's your thing. So shrink down, get lean, sell that which is awesome. Sell that which you could be passionate about, and know that's going to save you. If you can't afford the labor, find a way to order off an iPad. I don't like it, but it's an option. You can't afford the food cost? Charge more. You can't charge more? Find a way to make it worth charging more. Your customer can't afford charging more? Sell something else. Because where there is a will, there is a way. And there's always a way to pivot. There just always is. And if you're looking at this video of me and say, that dummy did it, I can too, then good for you. I did, and you can too. And if you want this dummy systems, I'm willing to give them to you. That's what I do now, because I figured this shit out. I'm pretty stoked about it. If Unsliced is for you, huzzah. If it's not, I get it. All these resources are free little nuggies for you to dabble into. But if it's time to do something different, book a restaurant review call. We'll see where your restaurant's at and then assess it and give you some freebies just for coming on the call. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not free. I have free resources, but the program moves the needle. So if that's for you, again, great, but get help. Asking for help signals that you don't know everything, which means you have humility, and humility is a necessity to grow. Because on the inverse, that it might not be as bad as you think it is, and there might be a smarter, faster way out of it that you just haven't thought of yet. That's where booking a restaurant review call comes into play. We live for this. I'm an actual owner, and I know how hard it's been, and I've been in your exact shoes. If you want to hear from someone who's had to make payroll, who's had to go without a check, that's me. And I care about other owners like you who are trying to pull themselves out of this gnarly situation and care to get over the hump and just need a helping hand. And all the problems that you're dealing with, you are not the first to deal with. In the Unsliced community, you'll see that with hundreds of other owners who know exactly how you feel like, because they've been there themselves. And you don't need to be alone any longer. We all give a shit about you, give a shit about yourself, and say no to giving up on your dream. If you decided that this is what your life's purpose is, then go and take it.